What's going on? Welcome back. It's already Basement Boy Reviews, and we normally only do summer movies, and it feels like summer movie season's already started. We're in early March.
Yeah.
And it honestly feels like it's already here. I mean, we got a lot of things coming up in the next couple of weeks. Power Rangers, Kong Skull Island, Guardians not too far off. But we just had Logan drop a couple days ago. Now, I got a chance to see it. Obviously, this isn't Brian. Oh, by the way, Thor, Martin. I had to think about that for a second. I'm so used to Thor, Brian. But Brian's dumbass didn't go see the movie to do the review. So Marty's filling in kindly for us.
Yes.
This is a Basement Boy Reviews. And Logan, like I said, Logan came out, saw it on Friday. Didn't go Thursday night. When did you see it?
Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I kind of wish I would have, but I didn't. Nothing got spoiled for me, so I felt I was pretty good walking in on Friday evening. So expectation level for this movie was pretty high for me. What about for you? What was your expectation going into the movie?
Probably 9 out of 10. That's what I was expecting.
Okay.
The trailers really hyped it up, and that good old Johnny Cash song, and
they did have some great music in them trailers. They did, and in the movie. So then how'd you end up liking the movie?
So for the most part of it, I liked the movie, but near the end, it fell through, and I did not like the ending at all.
Complete opposite. Love the movie. Movie was awesome. I mean, honestly, to see Hugh Jackman play this role for 17 years and it to end the way it ended, there's some moments, and spoilers, by the way, spoilers. I better clear that up right away. We're going to spoil the movie, which is Sunday at this point, so you should have seen it by now. This review's like
Brian.
3 days late. Brian, exactly, Brian. Prime example. I love the movie. So let's get into some of the things that you liked about the movie then, like specifically.
Well, the things I did like about it, the action scenes, it was very well done. The blood splatter, the decapitations, it was stellar.
It definitely warranted an R rating, but it wasn't gratuitous or over the top by any means. You know what I mean? Like a soft film. It was honestly the truest Wolverine movie we've been wanting forever. You know what I mean? Outside of some of the great X-Men movies, we've never gotten a Wolverine standalone this well done. Set in a future timeline, obviously, he's taking care of Charles Xavier. He's a limo driver going by his original name, like his name from when he was a child. There's some tiebacks to almost every X-Men movie, at least Origins for sure. There's a samurai sword from the Wolverine. There's on the wall.
Yeah.
Yep. They talk about X-Men 1 with the Statue of Liberty line. All the X-Men are dead, or the mutants are almost extinct. There's no new mutants being born in like X amount of years or whatever. Like what I did there, X amount of years. Let's see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie's it's a darker movie definitely than I think we've had. It's for me it's a very different superhero movie because it's not your typical story. This is literally a man on his last legs, and it's the end of his journey, and it's the story of the end of his journey, and I think they did it beautifully. So the action obviously amazing. He really teared it up when he did. I mean, some of the struggles with the claws coming out and him having to like pull the claw and like cut his own hand. It was some really, Professor X really surprised me too. Charles Xavier's lines, like the way Patrick Stewart was like dropping some just witty shit. Like it was super witty, and they didn't overuse like language and stuff like that. They used it just right. What were you going to say?
He was just very clever during the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And then the very beginning when he's like being a radio, just wheelchairing around kind of thing, and then his stop, and then turn back around when he got in his way, and then
it was a masterful performance. Beautiful performance. Beautiful. I mean, it was crazy. So they meet up with the girl. X-23 turns out to be his daughter, which I think we all kind of figured going into it that that's what it was. She was a clone with his DNA. She was kind of mute the whole time. I liked that character. It worked really well. The foot claws were dope. She worked really well for me as a character. A lot of actually the kids did, because they get into it. There's a whole group of like created mutants, pretty much, like a bunch of children, and they all escaped and they're on the run. Logan meets up with the one that's, related to him. There's other ones that have ice powers and like
Shock,
the earthquake one and stuff like that. So there's a bunch. I think his name's Richter in the comics and stuff like that. So they pulled a lot of stuff. Caliban in it was good. He was a good side character for this movie. He was a different actor, different than they did with X-Men Apocalypse. But I guess they cast him at the same time, like not knowing each film was using the same character, which I think is weird because they're in the same, they're both under Fox, but whatever. The Caliban character worked. Price, the guy coming after him, was pretty cool. He was a good bad guy. I'd say there was definitely a surprise bad guy, though. Like the main bad guy, or like who they ended up having to fight, the X-24.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. So let's go into what you didn't like about it then, because you said you started not like the second half of the movie.
Yes, and near the end, it just kind of dropped for me right when spoilers.
Yeah,
Xavier
spoilers.
dies.
We already said that.
So it bummed me out.
Okay, so
started
it definitely bummed me out. But the way he died, and that was beautiful because there's a piece where you hear them talking about. So Xavier has these quakes throughout the whole movie where like it literally debilitates everybody. And that's why they're hiding him out in the desert. Well, they were in a hotel, not in Vegas, but somewhere, because they're traveling to North Dakota or someplace called like Eden. It's a really cool story. But they're in that hotel or whatever, and he has a tremor. And then afterwards on the radio when they're driving away, it's talking about how it was similar to what happened in Westchester and 7, and then he cuts the radio off. You have to assume 7 X-Men died due to Xavier losing control. And then he has this day when they meet this family on their way to South Dakota. At the end of the night, he's like, he thinks he's talking to Logan, expressing like, I don't deserve a day like this after what I've done. And he's about to open up, and turns out to be that X-24 dude and just claws him right into the heart. It honestly, there was that, you go on an emotional roller coaster watching this movie. You laugh, you like get pumped up, and then you like get devastated. But see, I actually enjoyed how they did that. I thought it was a really touching moment because you see that, he's cognizant of what he had done and feels bad about it, and then has this like great day and then dies. And it's just, then they bury him, and it's I don't know. It's pretty.
Well,
I liked it.
He was all heartfelt and pouring his heart out, and it wasn't even to Logan. It was not Logan. And then
so
that's
Logan
where it was
never
like,
hears that, but that's part of the story. That's part of like how Logan always has been shit on his whole life. You know what I mean? And he tries not to let it affect him, but it always does. And he sees that potential. Charles sees that potential in him. And it's nice by the end of the film, he actually realizes that potential. You know what I mean? When she's calling him dad at the end, because she finally starts talking, she says daddy after he dies, which is crazy that the X-24 ended up killing Wolverine as well, or Logan. Like I loved that. I love that ending because they get to the South Dakota place. There's all those kids, and then they're going to try to get them across the border into Canada, right? So then when they're on their way, Logan was just going to part ways, decided to turn back when he saw the Price that chasing them, hunting them all down. That action sequence at the end too in the woods was amazing. But then Logan ends up dying. And you said you didn't really like that either. He ended up dying at the end.
Because I felt like they could have still had that, and like I just wanted it to be like a little bit more with the rest of the group and like see it through, because that's the whole thing. I never got to see
it. Couldn't be a happy ending. You know what I mean? If you think about it, he was killed by himself. And like, what was he always running from? Like his worst demons. You know what I mean? So it was almost like his past finally caught up to him, or like all the things he felt bad about, all the murders and stuff like that. I loved how they ended it. I don't think there's any other way you could have ended it, to be honest with you. You got to just no Wolverine in a movie for at least 3 to 5 years. Like, just do X-Men movies without Wolverine. You have so many other characters, utilize them. But this is the best way. The moment at the end where they're doing the funeral for him, and then everyone walks away, and she comes back, and she turns the cross into an X.
Yeah.
I
first thought she was going to be
I almost lost it. All right. Well, but yeah. See, I love the movie. I give it a 5 out of 5 decapitated heads. What would you give it?
I'd say about going in, 9 out of 10 expectations, and I'd say I still loved it, so 8.5 severed toes.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So that was it. That was the Logan review. We'll be back. We got Gamer Corner. We got Fastlane tonight. Pre-show's actually on right now. Brian's watching it and doing some other stuff off to the side since he didn't see the fucking movie. Let's hope the audio didn't get too fucked up and this video goes up seamlessly. So until the next video, thanks Martin for joining us. Basement Boy Banner, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Deuces.
Bye.